All right, welcome back to Summoner's Rift for game number 2 here. We'll see if Squirtle Squad can take this one, make it a clean 2-0, or if Pride can actually take a little bit back, take us to a game number 3. How you feeling, Sanctum?
Doing good. We're seeing a lot of aggressive play here out of Pride early on. A little bit, little leads here and there, and a lot of jungle invades from what it seems. Unfair just tried to take the chicken camp, and Bo3 seems to be having a much funner lane. So yeah, we're seeing them play more aggressively, though. If he plays a little bit too aggressively, Ambessa is a modern champion, so she can look to punish. But I think this matchup is kind of Jax favored if Jax can dodge the needed skill shot, the E that slows a lot. I think that's like the big hit or miss that you're definitely going to want to look to avoid. But outside of that, I mean, Ambessa is a modern champion. It kind of does everything and anything, no matter what and how you do it against her. If you're an old champion, you kind of just get mugged later on into the game. So we'll have to see here. Rise struggling a little bit, at least farming wise, but you know, he's got his tier. Really gets more online around that 2-item mark. And Nocturne, we'll have to see what he's aiming to get for. First, sometimes we see Stridebreaker, sometimes we see Hexblade. You know, it really depends. But I do believe this is a Hexblade start, unless you can build Stridebreaker with Tunneler, and I don't think that's the case, because I think Stridebreaker is like it's like Tiamat and something else. You need attack speed somewhere in the build.
You'll have to tell me what's going on for a second, because I actually can't see quite yet. I'm having more more problems here. But
right now, nothing has really happened. Yeah, nothing has really happened so far. We're farming. Dragon's still up. It's a Cloud Dragon. So just open the first few backs. Ooh, okay,
right. There we go. I can see now. Oh, okay. Public execution. Kuzu, 1 HP. Does manage to survive, though. As, yeah, 0-0, 5 minutes in, so not too much going on for my first look at the game so far.
Yeah, when I say that a 2026 champ kind of does anything and everything, you know, for most champions, you would have been dead. But Ambessa having 45,000 dashes for free, mind you, she's like Callista and Riven had a mixed born child, and it's just, you know, it's kind of unfair. Most top laners are sad that Stridebreaker lost its dash because it was too OP. Ambessa just gets like 15 of them every 2 seconds. Well, you see here's some buys though. See the Brutalizer, the Lost Chapter, the BF sword for both AD carries. That's really big. It means it's been a very farmy time in the bot lane. Not a lot of trades, because normally when you see a lot of trades, you see something like a call and like boots 1, maybe a dagger, double longsword, or pickaxe. But we're seeing these AD carries are going for the big ticket items early, and Bar is just doing. It's just counter jungling the counter jungling. And here comes the call of pack. We're going in.
Doing a lot of work, but now between worlds as well. Jack is here to try and back it up. Almost gets the kill, but not quite. So does manage to stay alive, but has to use both of the summoner spells there. Looks like the first dragon was a Cloud Dragon as well. I don't know if we can see what the next one's going to be. Looks like Hextech in the pit there. So yeah, rip to your dragon score.
That's fine. It happens. But it does look like we are getting the Dusk and Dawn here from Jax, because Kindle Gem first, when you normally build Triforce, does mean that you're going a little bit more of that like wacky on hit style build instead of the traditional Triforce, Zonia, Steris Gage that we tend to see a lot of Jax's.
Counter-Strike, Grandmaster at Arms coming out as well. But Kuzu definitely the one winning that trade. There's the public execution to close the gap. Kuzu gets first blood. 2 games in a row, has been doing so well in this top lane as Court JJ coming in with the paranoia. But I don't know if they'll be able to claim the second kill here. But either way, Kuzu just with style points on that one.
My question is though, we have Flash, Ambessa. The Ambessa ult got nerfed to the point where you can flash out of it if you play properly. But ooh, Laos looking on Bahar. There's no exit.
There's the flash stun. Jack takes the kill. So now we are tied up 1-1 in this first game, or second game, sorry.
What got the Fury so low?
Oh, from downtown. Cloud gets the kill there. First game, it was on the Senna, Dawning Shadow across the map. Second game on the Jinx, Super Mega Death Rocket. 2 kills, 2 games, 2 maps. And Cloud definitely putting in some work in both games so far.
Yeah. Definitely, Xayah does have a little bit longer of a cooldown before she is a regulatedly strong champion. You know, you kind of do need that 2.5, 3 item mark with the IE, the flicker, the ER. And it looks like we're going wild arrows this game.
Valter hopped in. Does have the flash, so is able to escape the fear there. But Court JJ, once again, very active on the map.
Yep. He's gonna be starting to lose a little bit of camp tempo though if he keeps up this aggressiveness, because you really want to get that.
Oh yeah, there's the counter strike, but look at the health difference already. Kuzu gets another one. 2 solo kills in the last like 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is
Between Worlds onto the rise. Nice use of the ultimate there. And there will be at least 1 traded back so far, and Neferi will pick up the kill there. D-Shot just has to walk away, but Rise definitely has been a target of pressure so far from Pride.
Yep. I mean, you're not winning against the Ambessa unless you bring multiple people, and now we're at a 30 plus CS deficit. Yeah, things almost look Jover. The Fed Ambessa at this point, I mean, it's not like over, but like... okay, the Dark Daggers could be big. We do have the Flash Smite.
This could be a really good shutdown. Yeah, Dudes at the flash forward. Shield keeps Kuzu alive for a little bit longer, but nice shot there. And actually, Neferi will pick up another one with a lot of gold in the pocket. Could be pretty scary.
Though that is the Eclipse finish for Ambessa, and you know we always joke about Yone being full build with like Berserker Greaves and Blade of the Ruined King. Yeah, Ambessa's kind of full build with just Eclipse. This champion just gets so much value off the fact that this item procs every 6 seconds, and landing 2 abilities for Ambessa is like sneezing. It's natural. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, yeah, it's the battle of the poor person versus Jax does feel a bit richer, you know. It's just a catalyst and a tier here for the Rise. So I don't know if we're sitting on a lot of money here, but yeah, Bar definitely feeling the oppressive weight of being constantly ganked. And Flashless Rise is a very easy Rise to kill, because for the Realm Warp to resolve, you have to not be CC'd. And there's a Leona, and she loves pressing the stun button. And if you're stunned, well, you're stunned.
Absolutely. As Laos definitely has done, I think, a decent amount more in this game than we saw in the first one. But one question I haven't asked you yet today is what you think about side lanes. We didn't really get a chance to see side lanes in the other game because it was kind of such a deficit. But what do you think it's going to look like here?
Well, in terms of like side laning, I don't think we're at the proper like elo bracket to probably talk about like properly managing like 1-4 style team comps, and we definitely don't have that here. I mean, yes, Jax and Ambessa can look to just unga bunga a turret when no one's looking, but I think if anything, if the Rise gets a little bit more money, he might be the one side laning a bit more, because he does have the global the global transport skill. And you know, Valter definitely doesn't want anything to do with this Ambessa, at least for a while. And that 2-level deficit, level 2 public execution could be very scary. And so Valter already recalling.
We're prepping a team fight around the second dragon here. Again, it is the Hextech drag up, but I imagine it should just go over to Squirtle Squad here. I don't know.
Fair, the Ambessa has the majority of the gold lead, and the Fury's here. She has all pretty fed.
True.
Yeah. Jax also has, yeah, they're good. Oh, okay, here we're getting the teleport. Jax doesn't have the support quest done, so he doesn't even have TB.
Okay. Yeah, as Kuzu actually just looking to put this gold lead to use. Paranoia coming out, but now I think he'd be engaging too far.
That's it.
Go forward as well. Here's Paranoia onto Jack at the very end, but Not
Are
really
we sure
much to
Loki's
do.
not
There's
playing?
Solar Flare. That's really nice. Between Worlds, so much burst damage. Saucy picks up the first one. Now Rise under threat. Featherstorm for a double kill. Over to the Xayah. And Squirtle Squad, what are you doing? You went in too deep.
Are we sure Baher isn't Loki's ult? Because
I'll give her more of a chance here.
Yeah, fair enough. But that was a very weird realm warp into the paranoia just to jump on the Neferi, and then did Ambessa ult? No, Ambessa was mid.
No, I don't think so.
So the whole big money bag character who's super fed, you're telling me wasn't part of that team fight? I mean, though, Kuzu probably just looking to turn Volter into some Swiss cheese right now. Still has a public execution, and it's item to no item, so Volter does have to be very careful. Has the exhaust, but I mean, Ambessa has 46,000 dashes and counting, and more soon. I don't know. Once she gets Black Cleaver done, then she essentially has negative cooldowns because her ability is already super short.
Oh, I didn't even realize that Volter took the exhaust. That's a very unfun place to be in top lane when you have to take exhaust to try and just like hold on. But I mean, at this point, I think it is pretty warranted. Kuzu has been having an incredible day. Not even necessarily that Volter's been doing anything like wrong or anything. It's just Kuzu's been popping off so far. So I understand the hesitation there.
Yeah, I mean, after you lose the first two 1v1s, you're definitely not winning the third one when you're down an item, right? So it's just about playing smarter, not playing harder.
Oh,
okay.
Solar Flare trying to go onto Cloud. Wait for the engage, but here's Paranoia over the wall. Court is here to back it up. It turns into a 3v3 with the dog in range. Watch Cloud, though. Cloud unable to get the reset. Has to flash away. There's one kill over. It's actually Pride coming out on top. So many flashes used, but Cloud is the only victim so far.
That was fantastic here from the side of Pride. I mean, Leona, like we joke about champions being full build, but you know, Leona with the support item and the fact that she pressed W, yeah, that's almost full build here for Leona. Ooh,
Walter? Walter gets the solo kill back. That's the Sheen proc. That's Dusk and Dawn in action. And wow, we were just talking about how much Squirtle Squad have been doing. Now the whole game is flipped on its head as Between Worlds once again. The Rise could go down. Jack looking for the solo kill. Unable to get that last auto to proc it. But Pride just stepping up so far. Yeah, and the big thing to notice here is that Serpent's Fang now done here for the Neferi. So if Jinx ever gets like a Locket Shield early or Ambessa uses her W early, I'm just going to get a lot of value out of this Neferi. And I do like this proactive playstyle a lot more. We keep saying we thanked Core JJ for the insane amount of early plays he made last game. It feels like this game he's been put on the back burner. His mid lane not necessarily ahead or even kind of just getting mogged whenever Aurora sees him. And Ambessa is just never with the team when fighting. And that's your big wallet. So if your wallet isn't there, then you don't really have the strength to try and abuse this, like, we dive a single person super fast, but maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah, nice trading there from Kuzu. But I mean, the main thing that I'm looking at with these two team comps here is you already have 2 kills on Saucy on the Xayah. And if you're trying to dive in as Kuzu, if you're trying to push the lead that you're building this game, it's really hard when the Xayah has more gold, more stats, more damage. If you're trying to get that kill, an ADC with self-peel is not really who you want to target. Yeah, definitely. Plus the fact that Leona has been the focus in team fights here for the Squirtle Squad. I don't think she's been intentionally the focus, but using all your damage spells on a champion that says I take no damage for 5 seconds and then I take no damage for another 5 seconds, I don't really think that's the key game plan here, but there's a lot of intangibility here. You know, you got the Neferi with the Call of the Pack, you got the Jax with the Counter-Strike, you got the Feather Storm from Xayah, you have the Weirding here from Ambessa, and it's just kind of hard to stick to some of these people. They just don't want to take damage. It is an open soul. I didn't realize it a few minutes ago, but yeah, it is the Ocean Soul. So I got another one correct here as Flea onto Volter. But, you know, Squirtle Squad unable to really walk into the pit here or try to contest at all. So might just have to give over the second dragon, but not the end of the world. Only about a 4,000 gold lead. I can't do math. 3,000 gold lead here. And,
4,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now 4,000. No, my math skills are really not up to par in that moment, but that's okay.
The thing to note though with Volter, with this build, he is extremely squishy. So normally, Jax uses the Grandmaster's Might to gain a lot of armor and MR. Okay, Kuzu just gonna play the running away simulator. Yeah, that is Solar Flare.
Yeah, Solar Flare connected there, but not enough damage to really chase the kill. Kuzu, nice use of the public execution there to not get CC'd up, but yeah. I mean, gold lead is growing for Pride here.
And the thing that worries me is a Fed Nefiri sees a Jinx, presses the ult button. Like you were saying in Champs, like, you know, you don't like the Jinx pick too much because there's a Fed Aurora and a Fed Nefiri. And the first thing they're going to see is they're going to see a weak Jinx and they're just going to assassinate her. I mean, we'll have to see if Cloud's able to play with an insane amount of space in this game. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at Saucy to position well in the last game and didn't really work out so well. So we'll see if Cloud can do it here. You know, the Senna really wasn't under threat last game almost at all. But I think that might have been a lack of engage problem. But either way, actually, a nice fight on the top side once again. Kuzu almost goes down there, but the Flea does save their life. So actually, we'll just be Volter is the only one falling into the ground there. A little bit of gold back for Squirtle Squad.
It feels a little disappointed to see Laos just kind of sitting in the bush. It felt like he was reading a Netherari comic. He was just waiting for the signal to go in, but he was the signal that he should have gone in. I think Jax overturns that easily if Leon is there, because, you know, the exhaust was up from her with the flash. Yes, the ult wasn't up, but just the Shield of Daybreak and the Zenith Blade rooting the Ambessa in place, so she can't just dodge every whack. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Could be here. Public execution from afar is so good. Jack trying to get away, uses the between worlds, but can you make enough space? Flash from Court JJ, but the super mega death rocket from the other side picks up the kill. So that is enough to make a winning team fight for Squirtle Squad. Teleport in from Volter, too little, too late. Laos goes down. Kuzu with the double feather storm out, but nice flash from Cloud. We'll pick up another one. Jinx is popping off. Squirtle are back in it.
I just watched Fnatic play. Yeah, the lead that existed, it's just gone. Here we see Jax getting picked off. Laos not blocking the super mega death rocket. It didn't seem to appear to be on vision, but here Jinx getting assists, so she's getting resets, able to win that trade here against Sasi, and while Kuzu just kind of doing the usual Kuzu show here, just winning trades. And this Ambessa now even more and more fed. Yes, Jax did win like a trade or two against the Ambessa, even getting a single solo kill, but at the end of the day, you know, you are seeing the recency bias that I have with some of these champions. Jax been playable probably since almost the beta or something, and Ambessa, you see that Jax has one dash, Ambessa's got like 15, or essentially the same amount of skills. So if Volter goes in and he's not 100% sure of his move, he just dies. If Ambessa goes in 2 seconds later, she's got an escape button. So it's just it's a little harder here for Pride to play properly, given that their champions don't necessarily have the easiest outs. But we are seeing this Nefiri do a lot of damage. And if they can, like I said, if they can have the element of surprise in terms of picking someone off, then I feel like the teamfight can definitely be good. But if you're just running into a Rel ultimate, no one's going to have a good time.
Yeah, that definitely will not be fun. But I'm looking at Cloud here, you know, no flash on the Jinx anymore. We saw some pretty great positioning and some aggressive moves in that last team fight, so I'm going to still be looking at that. That's what I'm expecting for the Jinx here. If you have the confidence to play it when there are 2 assassins on the other team, I expect you to perform, but Jack just face-checking Brush, has to do between the worlds once again, but actually doesn't use it. There's public execution, and Kuzu's on a killing spree.
Yeah, Jack has kind of sold the past 2 devs. It just feels like No trinket, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But you know, the Ambessa hasn't been seen on. Oh, okay, that's gonna be a free teleport to get away. There's no real way Leona gets there to land the solar flare. But if you don't know who the Ambessa is, the worst thing you could do, and you know, we used to say this a lot when Garen was played at Worlds, when it was in a Callista format, right? If you have no vision, there's a Garen in the bush. Yeah, well, if you have no vision, don't check the Ambessa. Don't face check the Ambessa when you're the squishy mage. If you built the rocket cannon, I'd understand. You have a way to dodge the ultimate, but no rocket cannon, flash on cooldown. And if you're pressing W into the Ambessa, it just, you know, it adds salt to the wound. Guys, this Ambessa that was just about 1,000 gold up. Now we're nearing about 1,500 to 2k. Yeah, okay, nearing almost 2k here, back in the lead. And the thing is, Ambessa scales so well into the late game. Every CDR item she gets is basically like, it's like a prismatic augment in ARAM. It's just really, really broken. And now she's going to get this beautiful thing we love to call Death's Dance. And it gives CDR, it gives AD, it gives armor. But you know what it does? It makes it so that Ambessa is going to feel like she's taking negative damage, because she's just going to heal from all the takedowns she's going to be getting.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of items, you might know, but on the other side of top lane, is this a normal Jax build? I kind of played him back in the day where AP was pretty troll unless you're Baus, so I don't know.
So we've seen like a resurgence of Dusk and Dawn plus Hextech Gunblade, but the thing is, the Hextech Gunblade doesn't give anything to the Dusk and Dawn. Normally you want like a Titanic Hydra, you want like a Hydra proc or something, you know, you need like an on hit. The Gunblade is an active, so you can't proc it with the D&D. It's just the Gunblade is the only source of Omnivamp in the game that doesn't require charging. The only other item that can give you this stat is the Endless Hunger on 80 Bruisers and casters, and the Riftmaker on champions like Gwen, Mordekaiser, and stuff. But Jax building a Riftmaker and feel pretty trolly. So it's like the best of both worlds. Also, Jax's resistances for the heck of it, for the people that don't know, Grandmaster Smite scales off his AD and his AP. Relatively, his armor is gained from his AD, and his magic resist is gained from his AP. So on the ultimate. So if you build a lot of AD and AP, you technically have a lot of armor and MR when you ult, but outside of that, you kind of lose the tanky run it downness that normal Jax builds kind of have, which is the Triforce. That gives you movement speed every time you whack something, because that's the phage passive.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But what are you expecting for the next couple minutes here? You think we're gonna get a Baron attempt? Do you think we just wait for Dragon Soul? Who makes a play?
I'll be honest. If you want to make a play, you definitely can't be just walking into an Ambessa. You definitely have to be making plays by thinking about like what kind of play you want to make. Because you just walk into Kuzu gets a free kill, they get whatever objectives on the map, and then they proceed to snowball and win the game, right? I think now that Jinx has her flash up, it's a little bit harder to get in, but this Rise, very immobile, you know, has the ghost, has the flash, but he's 0-3. However, he's the only source of magic damage on the team, so if he dies, you know, these played steel caps start bringing in a lot more value. So maybe this is like the angle of focus, because I mean, if Neferi just ults Cloud, then Rel says Yahoo, and like we need to find a pig. Saucy also needs to have space to put feathers down, because the thing with Xayah that does a lot of damage for Xayah is that when she has a lot of feathers down, each individual feather has a crit multiplier assigned to it when you do the feather back thing. So and those feathers do magic damage when they come back, so it's a lot of damage. The scales with AD, so can't really, like, the front line can't really block against it, but it also needs space to set up the perfect battlefield. We also need to see a good Between Worlds from Jack, because I feel like we haven't seen him use the ultimate properly in at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the last few ultimates we've seen from the Aurora have just been to escape.
Yeah, I've been into Ambessa ults.
But Volter pretty confident here, trying to at least get some pressure on the side lanes. I imagine now the next objective fight will be this dragon in a minute. It will be soul point for whoever takes it. Not quite the soul yet, but getting pretty darn close. As a little bit of tension here in the river, but no real engage.
I think Neferi wants to try and see if they can get the the Death's Dance before this coming team fight. It's really big, like, survival spike. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're 2 levels down though, Volter, so you can take the Counter-Strike, maybe the Grandmaster at Arms here pretty soon. There it is, so a little bit tankier as you were mentioning, but Kuzu can just disengage, come back in after that ultimate goes down, or just reset for the Dragon fight.
And that's also the exhaust used by Volter, so that's a big tool not going to be available. The Grandmaster's Might is going to be up in maybe like 35, 40 seconds. Rather low cooldown ultimate, but it's just... since he's so squishy, it's his only tanking option. Oh, Sudden Sky finish though.
Yeah, nice damage on the Laos. Look at the Leona just going down really before this even starts. Jinx is excited. Look at the Paranoia going down onto the backline. Featherstorm gets a lot of good peel, but here is Volter blocking the auto attacks. Nice counter strike onto the backline, but it doesn't matter. Double kill over to Cloud. Between Worlds doesn't do much. Here's the Fedna Fury, but Cloud has the flash. Triple kill over to the Jinx and still manages to survive. Quadra kill with the ultimate, and Cloud is now the one putting on a show.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm out of disappointed things to say. It's really nice Featherstorm here, but it was so early, and the second core JJ saw the ult, he just ran away. So that way Kuzu gets to burn the flash barrier for free, and Cloud, well, just doesn't die. So it's technically the instant quadra kill, and because it was so divided up and Laos, who's your CC person, just kind of wasn't there. That's going to be Dragon. That's going to be almost an ace. That's going to be Baron. It's so much money. Now the Hex Drinker coming in. So Ambessa being one shot by like this Aurora isn't really a thing anymore. And also when that Mama Mortis proc, Ambessa gets even more sustained for some reason. But yeah, Ryze is getting to that point where he's like Oppenheimer. He's about to break through on nuclear fission. Once that item finishes, which is going to be, I want to say it's the amplifier or whatever, he gets to press a button for 8 seconds. He does he has doubled mana cost, but he does I want to say with Ryze's current build, it's going to be what, like 27% more ability damage, which for Ryze is insane considering his abilities technically have no cooldowns.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the Rise. He can be 0-3, and he can still do a boatload of damage once you get to those important fights. But speaking of fights, here we are in a Fury, though, getting chain CC'd up. Magnastorm actually doesn't connect with anybody, though. Neither does the Super Mega Death Rocket. No one important. Paranoia coming out. Could be a re-engage, but look at the Jax here. Just perma CC Counter-Strike is pretty good. Remember, Cloud has no flash anymore. Does use the cleanse, though. There's Cloud. Godlike. Gets 2. Might be 3 there. Could this be a prolonged penta? If the Jinx is able to chase it down, Featherstorm comes out to keep Saucy alive for now, but there's the zap. Catches another one. There's 4. There's the Quadra. Here's the pentakill for the Jinx here. And man, did I call it earlier? Not.
Yeah, honestly, just some rather sloppy team fighting and some really good positioning by Cloud in these last 2 team fights. Definitely has redeemed himself, even though Kuzu has played fantastically here on the Ambessa. I mean, I think seeing Jinx pentakill, can't really deny the pentakill from the Jinx when she does get it. So it's going to be another clean sweep here, and as we do, Jax just dies to die, and the Fury's stuck here on the wall. It gets picked up here by Cloud. A nice Featherstorm attempt, but I mean, gets hit by the zap and just boom, boom, and you see how fast and how much damage that was a 4 shot, almost a 3 shot here by the Jinx if that had crit. So at the end of the day, I just think the better team won, and they get better seeding because of it. So this was our last week before playoffs. So we start playoffs like next week, right?
Yes, that's correct. Next week, we'll be starting on playoffs. It's single elimination bracket with our 8 remaining teams. So again, neither team was eliminated here today. No. We'll still see Pride in playoffs next week, but they do get lower seeding. So they have to play against a harder opponent. They have to play against the 2nd seed instead of the 3rd. So let me check. Actually, we might know some of the teams here. Looks like they will have to play Gluttony, XSV Gluttony. So we'll have an XSV Civil War there, it seems.
Yeah, the legendary friendly fire incident. Oh, but bro, we're in the same org. It doesn't matter.
Only one can move on. No second chances in playoffs.
Yep. I mean, I was expecting, you were mentioning that the teams were a bit evened out, but, Volter really was hit or miss the series. It just felt like it wasn't really there. I did like the aggressivity from the Neferi, but when the team starts to fall behind, the usefulness of the Neferi does, because rather squishy champion, and if you can't assassinate people, you can't really play assassins. I like Jack early game. It looked like he was completely mogging Bahar, but then the Jinx wallet diff just came to slap, and Saucy just. While Saucy had some okay early game performance, I think they were 2-0-0, and the end of the game 2-2-3. It doesn't mean technically at what the 15, like the 18-minute mark, they kind of stopped playing the game. So it's just unfortunate here for Pride. The big takeaway for Pride is that I think there was a communication issue, because it felt like, at least at the start of these team fights, Jax was going in, the Leona was sitting around, the Leona was going in, the Jax was sitting around. If you're going to play an aggressive team comp, you kind of have to be on the ball. They got this first game jitters, but this was the second game, and it looked exactly like the first game. Outside of playing the early game a little bit better. And from the side of Squirtle Squad, they play champs that are giga S tier late game, like Ambessa and Jinx, and they had money, and the game just ended. There wasn't enough front to backness for the games to like have actual development. It was just Kuzu was the only one with a gold lead on Squirtle Squad, and then Jinx gets a quadra into a penta, and then the game ends.
Yep.
All right.
And I think, a reminder, there was, I believe, 3 substitutes, assuming that starting roster is correct on the roster sheet for Pride. So maybe they come in next week for playoffs and they are like at full force and it goes a little better. But right now, it definitely seemed like there was some miscommunication, some separation between these players. But I'm excited to see what they will show. Hopefully we do see them again on stream some point during playoffs, because it was still fun to see what they were working with. I mean, Saucy was really pulling off the Xayah in this game until kind of those mid-game team fights fell apart. Yeah.
You're ahead until you lose the game.
All right, do you have a player of the game and player of the series for us?
This game, obviously, it has to be Cloudberry. I feel like.
Yes.
9 kills in 2 team fights, single-handedly mogging the Neferi in two back-to-back team fights is really, really good. And, I mean, the Ambessa played super well. I'll be honest, I think I have to give player of the series to Kuzu. Just feel like he deserved it a little bit more. The MVP to Cloudberry for that game, but the Nar game, it was so iconic. He was just laughing at people, like, yeeting them into the wall, saying 6-7, 6-7, and like he was just ending their lineages. Like, you weren't even going to the gray screen anymore. You were getting the hardcore error. Your character's been deleted.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think Kuzu was the kind of the star of the show this week for me. But yeah, very excited to see both these teams as we head into playoffs. We don't know which match we're going to see in playoffs quite yet, but I will say, as an update, our elimination match, it looks like it has been completed, and Mint to Lose will be our 8th and final team in playoffs next week. So we know all of our playoff teams, and we'll have to see how it plays out.
They eliminated DME?
They did. 2-0.
And okay. They are meant to win now.
Yeah, better change the name before next week. You gotta have the good luck rolling.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us for AEL week number 7. Thank you very much for casting with me, Fallen Sanctum. Thank you, Macros, for producing for us today. And thank you to both these teams. Again, we're going to see them again. So head held high, moving on to next week. Every week is a new week. And we'll see you next week for the start of AEL playoffs. The exciting time.
Yep. See you then.
Bro, just use Zen Market.